Here on Fresh 92.7, the beat of Adelaide, chatting to someone super familiar to the Fresh fam now. Of course, Matt from N Kutcher joins me. How are you, Matt?
G'day, g'day. It's good to be back on the Adelaide airwaves.
That's it, mate. Now, look at it's been quite some time since we seen you last, but it was a different sort of appearance. It wasn't an interview as such. It was taking the main stage at our birthday party.
It feels like yesterday, actually, to me. That was a lot of fun. Anyone who came through from Adelaide to that was a good night. Really enjoyed it.
It was a fantastic night. And look, I think the people definitely turned up. We were stoked to have you. And you played some pretty big tunes, some of which you might have teased that could be dropping quite soon, if not already.
Yeah, it was cool. We just pretty much finished the records for our new album, which is the first album for the project. So we gave them a spin and we gave them a road test at that event. So everyone got to kind of hear them for the first time, and it was good for us too because we got to play them, in front of a crowd and see how people actually react, and make some tweaks and change some little things on the drops and bits and pieces here and there. So it's good.
In terms of fan engagement, mate, I suppose once you've put all this time and effort into producing a track, so that first play out, it'd be a pretty cool feeling.
Yeah, I think it's look, I'm not sure how, a lot of bands do it. I suppose people have different ways, but I've seen over the years, producers who do that. And if you're touring pretty heavily and you spend a lot of time on the road like we do, I guess in band world, usually how it works is a band will go into writing cycles. So they'll take a few months off, write an album, or so even 6 months, and then they'll go and tour that album. Whereas I guess in DJ and electronic land, we're playing shows, non-stop. So there's not really a break. But on the flip side, it means that we can test these records out in front of real people and actually see how people connect with the tracks, which is the most important thing.
Absolutely. I think too with the connection on tracks, it could be a lyric or it could even be something as simple as a melody that just gets stuck in someone's head and then that's it, you're done.
Yeah, that's it. And like I said, this is the first album that we've done with the project, so it's a really exciting step into that space. And I think what was cool, like at that Fresh show we did in Adelaide, for example, we didn't get on the mic and say, "Hey, this is a new track," or "This is one of our songs." I said nothing on the mic and just press play and just let people react. Because I think that was, the most authentic way to see how people would receive a song, especially when they're in the set mixed in with like really well-known dance anthems. It's good to see how they stack up and, how people respond.
Exactly. There's no false pretense in, oh, this is a new track, we've got to get around it. It's just taking it for what it is.
Yeah, that's it. And look, no hate on on DJs who get on the mic and go, all right, everybody put your hands up. And look, I mean, I do it too, definitely getting on the mic and, giving people some instruction and a bit of a nudge to get
Especially
around things is good.
after a couple, the
Exactly.
mic's
But
easy to grab.
yeah, yep, sound like you're speaking from experience there.
Oh, look, I might be. Look, I will make a confession. I think Do It Now was one of the first tracks on my USB when I started DJing. So I'm an OG.
Oh, thanks, mate. Yeah, well, look, that one, that was a bit of a banger back in the day, I suppose. But yeah, that was actually cool because that was the first record that we put out with Mashed in Kutcher, and the I'd always loved the Art vs Science record, and I don't know, I just was listening to it one day and found a little nugget of gold in the middle of the record, and I was like, oh, this could be cool to like flip it around. And I think what was fun about that track is that when we put that out, it kind of was its own thing, and it wasn't trying to do a cover or a new version of the Art vs Science record. It was just a completely separate thing, and I like that now. Like I like, making dance records that are not, just covers or just remakes of other songs. It's just, about finding a little bit of fun in something and then turning it into something completely new.
Absolutely. And I think it showcases the individual creativity of the artist as well. I mean, anyone can take, a top 10 hit and, change two or three things in it. But like you said, when you find that nugget that is something that just hasn't been explored and you can take that for a whole other spin and really turn that into something, it's awesome.
Yeah, and look, being super transparent about it, like, if anyone like yourself has followed the project for years, you'll know that like with M&K, we have put out a bunch of covers and, we did a cover of Daniel Bedingfield's Got to Get Through This, and we did a dance cover of John Farnham's You're the Voice. Like we've definitely
Banger.
done that over the years. And thanks, man. And look, those records felt like the right thing to put out at the time.
Yeah.
But now I guess the project has really moved into a new sort of stage, I guess now. A couple of things have changed at M&K. We've grown from being a nightclub DJ act to a full-blown band now, and that's really what we are. We just played a show a couple of weeks ago here in Queensland where on stage it's a band. There's three of us. We've got live drums, live keys. We've got a singer. Like it's a full band now, and it feels cool, and it's different, and it's a new sort of evolve for M&K, and it's fun.
That's definitely one thing that I did want to touch on because a lot of listeners or a lot of new fresh listeners might only be familiar with hearing an M&K track, not looking at the socials and seeing what the whole experience is. Which it's a bit hard to not look at the socials. You got combined over 2 million fans, so really must be living under a rock if they haven't looked. But I think that's what makes it so unique, especially at the birthday as well. It's it's so much more than a USB and a set of DJ decks.
Yeah, I think what I've seen other fellow DJs and producers and some different acts and artists do over the years is create these sort of second projects or aliases and things like that. And I think there's definitely a place for that. I think with the M&K project, I've thought about that and thought, oh, maybe if we're going to go in this direction or that direction, create a separate project. But I think that's not the move for us. I think what we're doing is we're evolving, and while you know, we're definitely, you know, we rate the things we've done over the years and where we've come from. I think, we're not afraid to evolve and to do something, different and exciting. And man, we're always going to still jump in nightclubs and play the DJ sets for sure. But there's something different, man, about going from that to playing as a band. It's just for me as a DJ, like producer on stage, feeling, a live drum kit getting belted out behind me is really cool. And I'm really excited for that.
Oh, I think it tailors itself to being a unique experience, and it is like a not a one-stop shop, but it really caters to everyone. Some people are heavily lenient on the live aspect of entertainment and music. So if you, like you said, you are smacking on a live drum kit, mixing into a drop, it's got it all there. It's got something for everyone.
Yeah, we kind of came into things in a bit of an odd way. Like we're all, initially musicians, and we all played instruments. Like myself, like I started on classical piano. Costa started, obviously he's played drums his whole life, and so we're kind of like instrumental guys who ended up in a DJ world, really, which is, I
Fell
think,
into it.
kind of what. Yeah, and it's been a lot of fun. We've been so lucky. I'm very grateful. We've been able to travel the world playing amazing nightclubs and sort of living in that DJ space. And so now I kind of feel like it's fun to flip it on its head a bit and take the electronic and DJ culture and bring that into band world. And
Yeah.
I think that's the next chapter for us is to explore that. And it feels like the right thing to do, and it's a lot of fun.
All right, let's throw a few Q&A at you based on sort of what you just said there. So traveling,
Yeah,
massive
cool.
part of the job. Right, what's the longest flight you've had to do for a gig?
Um, oh, I mean, longest flights are probably the Brisbane to LA ones, but there's been a few gigs where we've done quite a lot of travel just for the little snippet of 1 hour on stage. We did an awesome corporate gig for McDonald's where they actually flew us out to play their annual gala for all of the store managers from McDonald's all across the country in Dubai. And that was dope. That was really cool.
That sounds
So
unreal.
we got the full VIP treatment. They put us on a flight. They flew us over to Dubai. We got a couple of days to explore the city, and then we played a really dope rooftop party to all of the store managers from McDonald's across the country. And then we flew back, and we were like, "Wow, that was pretty surreal for 60 minutes on a stage."
Yeah, it's like a wow, that just happened. You were on Fast and Furious 5.
Yeah, but I think we channeled that energy too from
Awesome.
that, and the show was amazing, and everyone had a great time, so it was good.
That's great. Then you go, favorite venue you've played. This could be anywhere in the world.
That's a tricky one. I've got to give a nod to Boots House in Germany. It's in Cologne. And it was originally a massive boat house that was a facility for boats, and it was converted into a nightclub at some point. And it's just known through not only Germany but through Europe as a bit of an institution for electronic music. And people, obviously in nightclubs and pubs and clubs across the world, some people go to parties, some people go for birthdays, some people go to just get off their head. In this place in Boots House in Germany, people go for the music and they go for the culture, and it's incredible to stand there as the performer on stage and you look out to see thousands of faces and they're just hanging off every song you play. You ask most touring DJs who've played there, they'll tell you the same thing. It's like there's nothing quite like it. But not at the risk of giving you a long-winded answer, there's something pretty cool about playing homegrown shows in Australia where, especially in regional towns too, there's a lot of regional towns here in Australia which don't get a lot of artists come to the town. So you really see, people appreciate that. And over the last 10 years, I reckon we've pretty much been to every little pocket of Australia, which is cool.
Yeah, that's a cool thing to cover. Your passport would be chockers and the K's on the car, I'm sure, would be quite high. Hey, let's talk about this new album because from what I can tell, there are literally bits of everything. You're talking dance, hip hop, disco, funk, soul. What's the, what's the overarching thing that you've thought of putting this album together?
It's a great question. So, long story short, it's a record of dance. Sorry, it's an album of dance records. So it's all high energy dance tracks. It's same thing we've always done, and it's what you would expect to hear from N Kutcher. It's slam and dance records. But what's, I guess, in amongst the dance records through the themes of the songs and the sounds is a bit of a snapshot of, I guess, from my perspective as a kid growing up in Australia through the 90s and 2000s and kind of, seeing music videos and hearing albums. And it's a bit of a melting pot of, the Motown and soul and classic rock records that my parents played me growing up, but also all of the stuff that I kind of saw on TV and listened to as a kid. So, things like Regurgitator and The Living End and Powderfinger and, then obviously hearing all the, international music come across as well. So I was massive into hip hop and I still am. And, a lot of that you'll hear sort of fused into the track. So yeah, it's definitely dance records, but it's a snapshot of what growing up in Australia, a kid saw on music videos.
That's awesome. It's a way to really encapsulate you in a record. That's unreal, and we are loving it here at Fresh. Now, of course, Across the Tracks is the brand new single. We are loving it here at Fresh. It is a new high-energy dance record. It's a much-anticipated forthcoming album. Matt from N Kutcher, been unreal having a chat, mate, and we can't wait to get this thing pumping across Adelaide for you.
Thank you, my friend, and thank you to Fresh as well for always getting around the tracks. We love you guys, and I'm very keen to come back to Adelaide with all the new music.
We love it, mate. We can't wait to see you. Matt from N Kutcher, you're on Fresh 92.7. It's the beat of Adelaide.